of the Code of the Federated States of Micronesia and as set forth in the official rules of procedure of the Congress, I hereby call to order the 21st Congress of the Federated States of Micronesia, fifth regular session, which is being held remotely due to the limitations caused by the COVID-19. May we all bow our heads for a moment of silent prayer. Okay, roll call, clerk.
Senator Artos,
Yes.
Senator Christian, Senator Figuer,
Yes.
Senator Coolant,
Yes.
Floor Leader Harper,
Amen.
Senator Conman,
Amen.
Vice Speaker Moses, Senator Ned, Senator Pollack,
Yes.
Senator Perman, Senator Romulo,
Amen.
Senator Ismail,
He's here.
Senator Wally,
Yes.
Speaker Semina.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, 12 members are present.
We do have a quorum to transact business on our opening day. Okay, next item. The committee to wait on the president to the call good, huh?
Yes.
Okay. Congress is back in session. We're now on item 4, appointment of the company president. Again, my honor to appoint our complete delegation to continue to serve as our kindly to wait on the president, and of course, again, Vice Speaker Moses is designated to chair that committee. So please consult with the president and vice president for the time and venue of your meeting. Okay, so next item, Chipper.
Mr. Speaker, item 5, presidential communications, when receipt of numbers 21-383 through 21-397.
Okay, assign those, Chipper. Next item.
Speaker, point of privilege.
We have, uh, okay, Chairman Berman, yes. Proceed.
Yes. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Good morning to you and all honorable members. Speaker, I rise on a point of privilege to recognize His Excellency David W. Panuelo, that's also present in our session this morning. Can we please give him a round of applause? We also have our Honorable Yuswood Nation also present. Please, let's give him a round of applause. Let me just go through the list, and then we get a collective round of applause to all. Then we have our cabinet members also here. Our chief negotiator or chief of staff is still here, Mr. Falcom. We have our special assistant to the president, Mr. Lauren Roberts, also present here this morning. And we also have from our U.S. Embassy to FSM, our acting TCM, Ms. Summer is also here with us this morning. Let's give her a round of applause to everybody. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for giving me, and to all of those that is actually observing our session from abroad, to all the states to here at our hearing chamber. Please, let's give all a round of applause. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman Berman, for introducing our president and our vice president. Thank you, President and Vice President, for joining us. We appreciate your being with us this morning. And the acting TCM from the U.S. Embassy, Ms. Summers, I understand that's the name. Thank you for joining us this morning. Extend our greetings to Madam Ambassador. I know she's probably busy, but thank you for joining us on her behalf. As, I don't know about the cabinet. How come they keep we're getting less and less members? Are they really hard at work, Mr. President? But we thank those who are joining us this morning. Okay. Any other point of privilege? If none, let's continue on. Next item, Kipper.
Mr. Speaker, item 6, FSM Supreme Court communications, there are none. Item 7, member communications, also none. Item 8, departmental communications, when receipt of number 21-76.
That
Right.
I haven't read that, but that looks good. Is it? Is it the new projection? Okay. Assign that, Chipper. Next item.
Item 9, agency or governmental authority communications, when receipt of numbers 21-65 through 21-67.
Okay, assign those, Chipper. So it looks like our FSMTC is busy. Okay. Next item.
Item 10, Mr. Speaker, state communications, there are none. Item 11, state Supreme Court communications, none. Item 12, municipal or town communications, There are none, Mr. Speaker. And item 13, foreign government communications, none.
Okay, we're now on the order of the day. Next item, standing committee reports. Chief Clerk,
Mr. Speaker, we have an awaiting list number 21-34.
short recess subject to call of the chair. Okay, let's go back. Congress is back in session. We'll come back to item 14 later on. So next item, Chief Bird.
Mr. Speaker, item 15, special committee reports, there are none.
Next item.
Item 16, assignment of measures and communications. We have a referral sheet 21-95.
Speaker, we'll come back to that later.
Okay. Please take note of that referral sheet for your planning purposes. Okay, next item.
Item 17, unfinished business. There are none, Mr. Speaker.
Continue. Next item, Chief Bird.
Item 18, bill calendar. There are none. Item 19, resolution calendar, none. Item 20, introduction of bills and resolutions.
Okay, members, if you have any measures to introduce, please pass them on to Chief Bird for introduction. Next item.
Item 21, miscellaneous communications. None, Mr. Speaker.
Okay. Congress back in session. Item 21 again, Chief Bird, miscellaneous communications.
Mr. Speaker, for 21 miscellaneous communications, we have communications numbers 21-29 and 21-30.
Okay, assign those, Chief Bird, assign 21-30 to Committee on Education. Right, Chairman Usman?
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
I want that communication 21-30 to be assigned to your Committee on Education, since from Safe Year High School.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. You know, it's assigned to a good place, Committee on Education. We will take a look at it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next item, miscellaneous business.
Speaker.
Okay, Chairman Berman, you have any miscellaneous? Go ahead.
Yeah, Speaker, I would like us members to also recognize two individuals as also observing our session this morning. The chairman of the JCRP, Mr. Asterio Takasi, and Eugene Panquilan Norma. Can we give them a round of applause?
Oh, so JCRP has nothing to do this morning, huh? So they're going around. Okay. Any other miscellaneous business? Florida Harbor.
Speaker.
Unmute Quam. IT. Unmute Quam. It's muted. Okay, there you go. Florida Harbor. You have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. First of all, I'd like to once again reiterate my personal greetings of respect to His Excellency President Panuelo and the Honorable Vice President Yusuf George and all those who are observing in Bonner Bay and other localities. My greeting of the day, Kasilelian Main ko. Mr. Speaker, during this miscellaneous business, I have two, what I should call outstanding problem or concern that I have been, expressing time and time again during our previous sessions or in the other previous congresses. And I would like to reiterate at this time, especially that the president is there and vice president. First one is relating to the airport runway extension project. I know President and executive and members of Congress will be tired of hearing my, voicing this concern. But I just cannot keep quiet when I don't see any movement of that project. I really don't know what to say anymore because, this project had been appropriated since Manny Mori when he was the president, and then came after him President Christian, and now His Excellency Banuelo is there, and still I don't see any movement of that project. And so I would like to ask what committee or whoever should be responsible in moving the project. I would guess the DCNI from the executive branch would really seriously look into this project. For your information, Speaker and members and the executive, the project was first started by a company or a contract which is based in Ponape, and branch of it is also in Chu. They were the first one that did the construction of the airport. And last time I was in Chu, prior to the COVID-19, I was talking to the contractor there, and according to him, they're interested and willing to go back out there and do the project if the current awardee is not moving on the project. In fact, he told me that they were awarded that project, but for some technical irregularities, they lost the project to the current awardee. And he was telling me that if the awardee at this time is not moving because of whatever reason they may have, they're willing and interested to do the project. And especially now that we're awaiting the arrival of Chief Milo, I think it would be proper and appropriate this time if this project can be considered to be repeated out for another contract to do the project. I know President said that maybe it would be even delaying the project if we have to do the repeating of that project. But personally, I think, yes, it may be a little bit, but if that one particular company or contract can be awarded, then I believe they can move faster than the current awardee of that project at this time. Second thing that I also want to voice at this time, it's just like as I've been saying, it's a long-standing concern that I have always voiced, but things seem not to be improved or corrected. And this is relating to our PCT for our public projects. Since I came in 2021, this problem of PCT delays has been, there until now. I don't know what really causes the delay of the PCT, but I'm kind of curious because, all these projects that we have been appropriating money for are like repeated or ongoing projects. And I don't know why the budget office is taking a long time to review those things when they had already approved previous same kind of project. To me, they will just look at the language. If it's still the same language they had already approved before, then they just right away approve and issue advice of allotment. But whenever I think of this problem regarding this PCD, I recall when I was at the legislature, Tuxtla legislature, attending one of the APIL conference, and one of my friend from Palau legislature, we were talking and we're talking about problems of our government, and especially the attitude of leaders and employees of our governments, or even people in the community. And I could still vividly remember when he said, Senator Harper, in Palau, when we have that kind of problem, we try to resolve the problem, but if the problem cannot be resolved, we eliminate the problem. And I said, what do you mean? He said, well, if we work at the problem and we cannot resolve it, we eliminate the problem by killing the doer of the problem, or at least find a way to terminate him from his job, or do something about that individual. So, I want to use that kind of phrase or language at this time. We're not going to kill whoever is causing the delay of the PCDs, but at least, find a way to either remove him from that office or put him somewhere else and put in someone if things can be improved. It's like the saying, we're keeping the bad apple in the basket and it's spoiling everything. So get rid of the bad apple and leave only the good ones, so we can see if there would be improvement in that area. So I would like to extend my apology to President and Vice President for saying all this. It's not that I'm dissatisfied with what they're doing, but I think low-ranking staff that they're not really doing what they're supposed to do. I had sent the email to the appropriate person in the budget office, copying to His Excellency and Secretary of Finance, and hopefully they can do something about that. So that's all I wanted to say this morning, Mr. Speaker. And again, my apology to those Excellencies, President and Vice President. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Floor Leader, for your candid remarks or statements on certain problems that indeed are existing, or problems that we are currently facing. And I hope the appropriate agencies or departments will take them to heart. They should not be offended, but they should know that those are ongoing problems, not faced by only I suppose every one of us members who have appropriated funding for our the public projects in our respective states. But that is something I'm sure President has heard it loud and clear. I'm sure he will see what he can do on the PCs. Maybe we should have another PCD summit like we did during President Morris' time. We got together on a summit. It's a high-level summit on PCT. I don't know whether that's still called for or not. But that was way back then, over 10 years ago, and seems like the problem continued to persist. Okay, and on the airport intel, yes, I joined Leader in encouraging the President and Vice President to work with their respective agencies or departments that are responsible for the implementation of that project. It's over 10 years now, and we haven't seen it move. So we would appreciate if there is some movement of that. So thank you, Pro Leader, for your miscellaneous business. Any other miscellaneous business?
Speaker.
Yes, Vice Chairman Malik, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Good morning to you and distinguished members. Also, my personal greetings and respect to His Excellency President Panuelo, the Vice President George, cabinet members, congressional staff, and citizens who are observing our session today. Mr. Speaker, Congress Bill number 21-262 was passed by Congress. I don't remember the act number, but vetoed by the President. This bill essentially seeks to set timeline for the executive branch to respond to a request for action by Congress as set forth in congressional resolutions. I read the President's reasons and justifications for vetoing the act, Mr. Speaker, and I support his views. That said, however, Mr. Speaker, numerous resolutions have been adopted by Congress with no actions by the executive branch. Of particular interest to me, Resolution 21-85 regarding universal healthcare coverage. And that resolution becomes even more relevant today, Mr. Speaker and honorable members, as we face this COVID-19 pandemic and its relation to the UN Sustainable Development Goals. Resolution number 21-128 to make available $5 million from government of the People's Republic of China for road development in Koshrai State. And this funding, Mr. Speaker, was consummated. I understand documents were signed, paperwork has been completed, but this funding disappeared. And we inquired about it, nowhere to be found. That kind of funding, Mr. Speaker, where it's close to drawdown, and simply we failed to pursue those. Very important funding for Koshrai State. As you know, we still have challenges in our infrastructure, especially road development. Finally, Mr. Speaker, Resolution 21-156, urging the President to work with multinational lenders to implement measures to help state borrowers and state-owned enterprises such as FSM Telecom. If you remember, there was an amendment made to also accommodate possibility of our own telecom to negotiate or to seek debt relief from their RUS loan. Mr. Speaker, with the honor of having the President, Vice President, the cabinet members attending our session today, I humbly and respectfully ask that the President and the executive branch to please look into those resolutions, address them, and update Congress on their status and actions taken. I listened to the concerns raised by floor leader, and I cannot agree more. We have the same issues. But Mr. Speaker, you know, there is an African saying or a cliche that goes something like this. If you want to travel fast, you travel alone. But if you want to travel far, you travel together. Mr. Speaker, if we as a nation wish to go far and succeed in maintaining a COVID-free FSM until a vaccine has been developed, and in achieving our long-term goals of an educated and healthy population, and to support our goals for sustainable development and economic prosperity, we must work together and we must travel together. So, Mr. Speaker, I again humbly ask that the executive branch look into those resolutions and update us on those. Some of them are critically important, at least to my constituents in Koshrai. And again, I apologize if I'm too direct on this, but if we are to resort to a more informal process to move these resolutions forward, then I humbly ask the executive to please work on those resolutions and update us. Let's work together. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much, Vice Chairman Palik. That's very moving. That's very deep. I like that one. If you want to travel fast, what? Travel alone. If you want to travel far, together. Travel together. No. Well, on the resolutions, you can adapt it both way. Either you want them to either you mandate the president and vice president to submit things within a certain period of time, or you allow them to take their time, and that's the only way you can do it by keep talking to them on your on the side, and maybe you can do it alone so it's faster. Okay. Any other miscellaneous business? Any other miscellaneous business? If none, okay, let's go down to announcement. Chairman Wally.
We'll have a executive meeting tomorrow, right after Chair and Co meeting. Quorum time about 2 in the afternoon.
Okay.
That is
That's-
to do markup and markdown on the budget for FY21. Thank you, Mrs.
Okay. Thank you very much, Chairman Wale. Members of XF committee, take note of that announcement. It's important you guys finish up your portion of the FY21 budget. Okay. Chairman Figure, any announcement? Unmute your.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I have no announcement. I'm going to wait for the committee to wait on the president and report back to us and figure out how to proceed. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chairman Figure. Okay, Chairman Berman.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Members of HSA, please read our report. That's our final budget report. And if you agree with it, sign off on it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chairman Berman, for moving quickly on your portion of the budget. Members, take note of that report's been circulated for your signature. Okay, Chairman Romano.
Chair ko committee tomorrow after TNC, right after session.
Okay, take note. What's the subject?
On the budget,
Okay.
the executive.
Okay, that's good. Okay, take note, members. Janko, tomorrow after TNC, it's Janko, also executive on budget. All right, Chairman Golan.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Your committee on TNC will do the up and down right after session tomorrow. And at 8:30 tomorrow morning, we would do a bill on the 21-276. This is for the untrue on cable. I ask our members to come in. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chairman Golan. Okay, 8:30 tomorrow. That's the bill on the transfer of the Antru. And of course, immediately after session, that's Mark Aventon on the TNC portion of the new budget. Okay, Chairman Coleman.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. No announcement from the special committee at this time. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman Coleman. Chairman Roosevelt. What?
No announcement, Mr. Speaker.
Oh, I thought you were waving goodbye to me. Okay. All right. Vice Speaker Moses and Chairman of the Committee to wait.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. First, let me pay my respects to the President and Vice President. So good morning to you, Speaker and members. and those who are observing. We will be meeting at the President's Office Conference Room at 12:30 this afternoon.
Okay, thank you very much,
Thank you.
Vice Speaker Moses, for the announcement. Only your colleague there is with you. I don't know. You can inform the Chief Clerk can inform the other two if they can join you later this afternoon. Okay, but thank you for the announcement. Any okay, Vice Chairman Malik, any
Thank you very
announcement?
much. Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. No announcement. Chairman Berman, FYI, I just signed the report and sent it. Thank you.
Looks like HSA is moving on its report. Okay, now before we adjourn, let me just call for a short recess. Congress is back in session. If there's no objection, we'll go back to item 14, Chief Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, for item 14, Standing Committee reports, we have an awaiting list number 21-34.
Okay, members, read the reports that are on that awaiting list number 34. Item 16.
Mr. Speaker, for assignment of measures and communications, we have a referral or assignment sheet number 21-95. It's also linked.
Okay, once again, Chairman and members, review that for your planning purposes. Okay, any other unfinished item? If none, let's go back down to item 23. Announcement. Once again, I would like to take this opportunity to thank you, Your Excellency, President Panuelo, and the Honorable Vice President George, for joining us this morning. And I appreciate the gesture by giving us your signature on that project bill for members. I know they've been waiting for it for some time, but thank you very much for doing that. And I would like to thank our, friends from the U.S. Embassy for joining us. Thank you. You're always welcome to join our sessions anytime. Just let our staff know so they can prepare for your visit or joining us. Okay, there is no other business. I will now, by the way, yeah, right after session, we'll sit back to just figure out what to do for the duration of the session. And if there is nothing further, Floor Leader, you have an announcement and then your usual motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. No announcement. And I move that we stand recess until 10 a.m. tomorrow morning.
Second.
Again,
It has been moved and seconded that Congress stand in recess until tomorrow at 10 in the morning Chuk time. Okay, those in favor of that motion say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Congress now stands in recess until tomorrow at 10 in the morning Chuk time.